Today I'm going to be sharing a few facts about Ida Bell Wells. Ida Bell Wells Barnett was born into slavery on July 16, 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Her parents were Elizabeth and James Wells. 2 years after Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, over in 1865. Today I'm going to be talking about Ida Bell Wells Barnett. She was born into slavery on July 16, 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Her parents were Elizabeth and James Wells. 2 years after Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, slavery ended in 1865. Now freed slaves were able to learn to read and write, which before teaching enslaved people was illegal. Ida loved school. She got good grades and read every book she could find. Ida's father would sometimes have Ida read the newspaper to him. He wanted Ida to see how deep and how powerful the written words on the pages could be. In the summer of 1878, both of her parents and youngest brother sadly died from yellow fever. During her leisure time, she worked as a journalist going under the pen name Iola when she wasn't working as a school teacher. At the time, most Black people were given equal rights with white people until the new laws were passed in southern states, also known as Jim Crow laws. Black children weren't allowed to go to school with white children. This also made it hard for Black men to vote. After 2 years of teaching, Ida's Aunt Fanny invited Ida and her two youngest sisters to move to Memphis with her. Ida jumped at the chance of leaving Mississippi. In Memphis, she and her friends went to plays, concerts, and church. She also joined a book club called Lyceum. Lyceum had its own newsletter called the Evening Star. Then, when the inventor moved away, he chose Ida to take his place. On Friday nights, she would read it aloud. One Friday night, a minister came to hear Ida, and he was so impressed that he asked her to write a column for his weekly newspaper called The Living Way. Most women wrote about marriage, children, and running a household, but not Ida. She wrote about how badly some Black people were still treated after slavery. During this time, Ida worked at a school just north of Memphis. She would travel a train to get there. Though there was segregation on the train, Ida decided to ignore the law. One day in 1884, she bought a first-class ticket and rode in the ladies' car, though it was only for white women. When the conductor came by, he told Ida to go to the train car for Black people, but Ida refused. She told him that she had the right to be in the car because she had a first-class ticket. The conductor and two other men had to drag Ida out of the train car. So instead of getting on the train car for Black people, she got off the train, went back to Memphis, hired a lawyer, and decided to fight back against the railroad. The judge agreed that the railroad had been wrong. The judge ruled and decided that the railroad had to pay Ida $500. But she never got the money. So she decided to write about what happened. The article was so popular that other newspapers across the country reprinted it. Then in 1889, she became known as one of the country's few Black female newspaper owners and editors. In her article, she would write things like, should not always be loyal to one political party over another. After a while, she was given the nickname Princess of the Press. Ida enjoyed working at the Free Speech office. To make enough money, she would often take the train to places such as Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee. During one of these trips, when she came back, she found out that 3 Black men had been lynched. One of those men was Thomas Moss, one of her close friends. Thomas was a letter carrier and delivered mail. During his route, he would sometimes give Ida different scoops of different details and stuff so that she could add it to her newspaper articles. Thomas Moss and 2 other Black men named Kevin McDowell and Henry Stewart all ran a very successful grocery store called People's Grocery. This made many white people angry, especially William Barrett. Barrett owned a grocery store across the street. This made him angry because he thought and felt that he needed to have more customers at his place when he was really jealous. To me, Ida B. Wells is a very inspirational person because she explains through her lifetime that we should stand up for what we believe in, and she really inspires me because she would always write about what she believed in and stuff, and was not afraid to tell the truth. Wow.
You're gonna have to delete that.